The all-new Hue 2 lighting system from NZXT brings even more possibilities to your setup, with addressable RGB underglow, cable combs, and monitor lighting with a unique ambient mode that pulls colors from your primary display to create a one-of-a-kind gaming experience. Check out everything Hue 2 has to offer in the link below. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is quite exciting because we finally get to unbox these bad boys from Nvidia. Two brand new GPUs based on the new Turing GPU architecture on the 12nm process. Today we'll be looking at the RTX 2080 and the RTX 2080 Ti. Now, of course, the embargo for the actual review and performance is later down the line, but it's right around the corner, so stay tuned for that. We'll at least get to take a closer look at both of these cards today, which I'm pretty excited about because they did have them on display at the streaming event during Gamescom, but they were all behind glass and I couldn't really get my hands on them, so pretty stoked about that. Additionally, the RTX prefix on both of these cards, as most of us know by now, indicates real-time ray tracing capabilities, which is going to give us more realistic images in regards to how light behaves, shadows, reflections, that sort of thing. Nvidia has already shown us a bunch of impressive demos so far, and of course there's other questions to consider about this launch, like what kind of performance cost will be incurred from enabling RTX, or what about the actual raw performance of these cards? Is that going to be, is RTX alone going to be enough to justify the sort of hefty price tags associated with this launch? So we'll discuss that a little bit more later on, but for now, let's just take a look at the cards, starting with the RTX 2080. I'm going to leave this bad boy, the Ti, for later. We'll save that one for last. Nice little packaging, very, very familiar from the 10 series launch. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. Oh, money shot. Hey, look at that. All right, okay, cool. Very simple, elegant packaging. Oh, we've got a little tag on here. What is this? I don't know, is that a serial number? I'm not sure. Whatever, this is new. I don't like it. Okay. Ow, rip headphone users. Not the kind of plastic peel that we want here. So here she is, RTX 2080 in the flesh. Man, it's quite heavy. This feels a little bit heavier actually than the predecessor GTX 1080. You've got the sort of dual fan design here, totally ditching that blower style enclosed shroud. I should also mention that this Founders Edition card, all the Founders Edition cards, as far as we know, are factory overclocked by Nvidia. So they're actually operating outside of the reference spec for the first time. I believe the base and boost clock here is 1515 megahertz and 1800 megahertz respectively. We've also got 2944 CUDA cores. The card features 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory on a 256-bit bus. That's at 14 gigabits per second, giving us a total of 448 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. TDP is 225 watts. You can also see that we've got a 6-pin and an 8-pin power connector right there. So definitely a little bit more than the GTX 1080 with its single 8-pin plug. This is obviously the side of the GPU that most people will see once installing it in their systems, and you've got your GeForce RTX branding there that's going to be illuminated in green once it's powered on. You've also got like black coated heat sinks. I don't know if it's powder coated or whatnot, but the actual fin stack is nice and black. Kind of gives it a cool stealthy vibe as opposed to your traditional silvery unfinished aluminum. And you've also got again these fans. I believe they're, I don't know, let's measure these fans really quick. 90 millimeter. Okay, I think that's what I suspected. 90 millimeter fans, and you've got this sort of large gap in the middle with the RTX 2080 branding there as well. On the back, you've got your RTX 2080 branded backplate, which is nice and silver, kind of, I believe this is aluminum as well. We also have sort of a unibody design, like the backplate almost looks like it seamlessly connects to the front of the shroud. It's definitely a nice, refreshing change from the previous Founders Edition cards. Those were getting a little bit repetitive, so Nvidia really did shake things up for this launch. And when I first saw this card, I was like, where the heck is the SLI finger? It's actually under a cap now. There's a sort of cap that's integrated to be part of the design of the card that you just pull out like so, toolless and stuff. And there's your redesigned NVLink SLI bridge. So you can do up to 2-way SLI with these cards. I don't have the new bridge on me right now to show you guys, but I'll throw up a picture or something. Taking a look at the rear I/O here, we have some pretty nice connectivity options with 3 DisplayPort 1.4, meaning we can now do 8K at 60 Hertz. Not sure how many people are going to utilize that. I'm sure someone will. But more importantly, or I think more relevant to us right now as gamers, is 4K at 120 Hertz. Finally, we're able to hit that that bandwidth with 1.4, so that's really nice. We also have HDMI 2.0B, just one of those, and then USB Type-C. That's actually going to be our virtual link connector for next generation of HMDs, or virtual reality headsets. That way you can basically link up your entire headset with just a single USB Type-C cable, and it doesn't eat up one of your video ports as well. So that'll be pretty cool to try out in the future. That's pretty much the card, guys. Should we move on to the RTX 2080 Ti? Yes, we should. I answered my own question. I wasn't really asking you. It was rhetorical. Now, coming from the RTX 2080, you probably won't see a whole lot different on this card. A lot of the same here. Oh, that never gets old though. Oh, and there it is. Hey, this one gets plastic wrap on it. What? Look at that. Showing your TI privilege right now, Mr. Card. There it is. Now, I already looked at the spec sheet and stuff, so I kind of already know this going in, but I just want to verify in person, now that I've got the cards here, they are in fact the exact same dimensions in every way. Length, width, and height. I guess you won't run into any clearance issues with one if you can avoid them with the other, so good to know. Same set of I/O. The I/O is referenced here, so that's not going to change unless we see an add board partner fiddle with it. I mean, physically, the card is exactly the same as the RTX 2080 with just a couple minor exceptions. Of course, you've got the branding difference with the TI there, and also the power delivery requirements. You've got 2 8-pins compared to, again, an 8-pin and a 6-pin on the RTX 2080. So that also makes sense because the RTX 2080 Ti does have a slightly higher TDP of 260 watts. I guess I should also run down some of the basic specs here since I did it for the RTX 2080. We have 4,352 CUDA cores, a base and boost clock of 1,350 and 1,635 megahertz respectively. Again, this is factory overclocked by Nvidia. And we also have 11 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory at 14 gigabits per second on a 352-bit bus compared to the RTX 2080's 256-bit bus, and that gives us a total of 616 gigabytes per second of effective memory bandwidth. Okay, all right, so I think we've oogled over these cards long enough here. They are very pretty, I'll give them that, but let's briefly talk about this launch, wrapping this video up here. Let's talk about this launch and what makes it so different than other launches we've seen from Nvidia in the past. For starters, if I'm talking about myself personally, if I'm dropping a few $100s on a high-end graphics card, I usually care way more about performance, about raw FPS loving performance, than I do about, you know, something like ray tracing technology and better image quality and things like that. And I feel like a lot of gamers feel the same way, based on all the social media posts and the forum posts that I've read over the last few weeks. I think we're all kind of on the same page in that regard. Not all of us, but I think the majority of us. And so, if that's the case, then let's look at the facts. The GTX 980 launched at an MSRP of $549. And then the GTX 1080, its successor, launched at the same price of $549. But it completely annihilated the GTX 980 in terms of performance. 30 to 40%-ish on average was the sort of uplift that you saw from that 10 series card. It was phenomenal. And now we have the RTX 2080 replacing the GTX 1080, which is not the same price. It is $150 more expensive, starting at $699. So the RTX 2080 has a lot to prove right now. It has to annihilate the GTX 1080 and then annihilate it again when we're talking about raw performance. And I don't think for most gamers that any amount of ray tracing capability is going to make up for that. Nvidia also recently confirmed that both Pascal and Turing would coexist for the rest of this year, which is also a unique trait to this launch. In particular, it's kind of interesting because Pascal, or if you look at the GTX 1080 Ti pricing right now, it's ranging from $650 to $750 thereabouts, which is right in line with the starting price of the RTX 2080. So if this card launches at $699, it's gonna compete in price with the GTX 1080 Ti. And if one's faster than the other, then people will just buy the faster card. So two things could either happen there. Either the GTX 1080 Ti pricing will drop, or it won't drop, and you won't be able to find the RTX 2080 for its starting price of $699, which would really, really suck. And then everything kind of goes double for the RTX 2080 Ti here, starting at $1,000. It's an unbelievable price that is going to require unbelievable performance. This thing will have to absolutely blow us away in terms of its raw frame-killing abilities in order for gamers to really pull out their wallets. Otherwise, I think we got no dice there. So those are my thoughts. You guys let me know if your thoughts line up at all with what I'm saying here. If I'm totally off base, feel free to leave your feedback in the comments below. Apart from that, guys, stay tuned for my full review on both of these cards coming very, very soon. Get subscribed so you don't miss it. Click the notification bell while you're at it, and toss a like on this video. Did I already say that? Did I already say toss a like on this video? I don't know. Toss 2 likes. I know it's impossible, but you can try. You can also check us out on Floatplane for $3 a month if you'd like to watch our videos a whole week early without ads. I'll put a link for that in the video description. Till next time, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.